Is it possible to get that classic Technics build quality and sound without spending a fortune or tracking down a vintage turntable? As a huge fan of Technics, I wanted to find out if their new, more affordable turntables could live up to the legendary SL-1200s for hi-fi listening. So I picked up one of the cheaper turntables they sell today. After putting the SL-100C through its paces, I can tell you this is a very good deck, but it's not perfect. Let's unbox it and I'll show you what I mean. The SL-100C is a fully manual turntable that retails for around $1,100 in the US and $1,400 in Canada. You get that classic Technics direct drive look, but without the DJ-focused bells and whistles. The sliding pitch control, the strobe, and the pop-up light, yep, they're gone. What you're left with is a streamlined turntable built for the entry hi-fi market. Like the 1200s, the SL-100C features an aluminum die-cast chassis and platter, as well as a classic Technics S-shaped tone arm. According to Technics, the die-cast chassis is rigidly integrated with a compost material consisting of ABS and glass fiber, resulting in two-layer construction for good absorption of vibration. In terms of the cartridge, the 100C comes with the budget Audio-Technica AT-VM95C pre-installed. It's not my favorite cartridge, but it can easily be upgraded with a new stylus. Or you can just use a different cartridge, which is what I did. Like any good Technics turntable, the tone arm height can also be adjusted, in this case within a range of 6 millimeters. The process is easy and smooth. The 100C includes an auto lifter function, which when engaged automatically raises the cartridge when the tone arm reaches the end of a record. Anyone who has fallen asleep while their manual turntable plays knows this feature can be a stylus lifesaver. In terms of other highlights, the SL-100 spins at 33, 45, and 78 RPM. 78 is engaged when the user presses 33 and 45 at the same time. The turntable comes with RCA outputs around back rather than a hardwired RCA cable, which I love. My preference always is to choose my own cables. The SL-100C weighs in at 9.9 kilograms or around 22 pounds, which is a bit lighter than the classic SL-1200, but it definitely still has some heft to it. And according to Technics, it has a wow and flutter of 0.025, which is very good. Said in the simplest possible way, wow and flutter is a measurement of how consistently and accurately a turntable spins. As a side note, the 100C is essentially the same turntable as the modern 1500C, minus the built-in preamp end with the different cartridge. The 100C is also no longer the cheapest turntable Technics sells as of September 2025. The new SL-50C and SL-40C BT turntables are about $100 less and look promising, but they don't have that classic Technics direct drive look. Hopefully I'll get to try them next, but for now, let's take a closer look at the SL-100C. Before I go any further, I know there are some of you in the comments already telling me that I'm pronouncing Technics wrong. As I've learned doing these videos for over 10 years, half the world says Technics, half the world says Technics. All good, man. If you want to learn more about this topic, check out the video I'm linking on the screen. So I've lived with the SL-100C for a few months now. The first thing I did was swap out the Audio-Technica cartridge with the vintage Pickering XV15625E cartridge outfitted with a Jaiko stylus. It's a much more detailed and musical cartridge, which paired well with the Technics. I also tried the Audiophile 2M Blue and the Concorde Elite on the 100C, and all were great, man. Also, I swapped out the rubber mat that came with the Technics, and I used a Serene record mat from Stack Audio. The stock rubber mat was fine, but I had the upgraded mat, so I figured I would use it, and I have used it on my other turntables as well. Overall, I found that the 100C performs exceptionally well. It starts up fast, holds a rock steady speed, and sounds great, man. These hefty Technics decks always seem to have a really good bottom end punch, and this one is no exception. With the Pickering cart in place, the sound was detailed and well balanced. I did detect some minor platter wobble, but nothing serious. The wobbling in this clip is largely due to a small warp on the record that I'm playing. I did engage the auto lifter function and it worked as advertised, but it does take several rotations of the record for the function to kick in. Also, while I like the stripped down look of the 100C, I do wish that it came with the classic strobe light. I'm a nerd who likes to have a visual confirmation that my turntable is spinning at the correct and consistent speed. The real test for me was putting the 100C head to head with my vintage 1200 Mark II turntable. Check this out. Here are the two turntables side by side. They're both similar in size and appearance, with some of the bells and whistles stripped from the 100C, as I mentioned before. But there are also some differences in build quality, including turntable damping and the quality of vibration absorbing materials used. I'll do the tap test on the plinth so you can hear and see for yourself. The simple test shows how well a turntable's plinth is isolated from external vibrations. Just listen to the difference. As you heard there, the isolation materials inside the old school 1200 appear to be a bit more substantial. In doing the comparison between the two turntables, I also noticed that the buttons and switches on the 1200 were noticeably of higher quality. I'll show you, starting with the 1200, then moving on to the new 100C. Again, as you saw there, the controls on the 1200 feel more substantial. It's kind of like I could hammer on the first start-stop button without a worry, while I would want to be a bit more gentle with the 100C. So there you go, and I admit this comparison is a bit of apple and oranges, I get it. But in terms of build quality, the 1200 is the winner compared to the Technics modern entry-level turntable. But let's be honest, most 100C turntables won't take the kind of abuse that 1200s do, so these differences won't have a huge impact in practice. The SL-1200 Mark II is a tank built for DJs and with clubs in mind, while the 100C is designed for home hi-fi use. The 100C is more than sufficiently engineered against external shock when used for its intended purposes at home. For a direct drive turntable at this price point, the SL-100C is hard to beat. It's well built, hefty, and highly musical, all adding up to fantastic value. Sure, the build quality doesn't quite match a vintage 1200, but for home hi-fi listening, it's more than sufficient and miles ahead of the Technics clones out there. For a lot of people, this will be the last turntable they ever need. My bottom line, the SL-100C is a very good modern turntable worthy of carrying the Technics name. Alright, 33ers, what do you think of this turntable? Are you a Technics fan? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to subscribe for more audio related content. Until next time, keep on spinning.